Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Open Mic America, your Sunday dose of some amazing singer-songwriters from all across the United States. Tonight, we have our engineer, Daphne Ramil, behind the scenes, making sure that everything runs smoothly. We have our very own Mike Simpson as our interviewer, who is also doing double duty tonight as one of the performers. And I am Laura P.L. Bordowitz, and I will be your MC for tonight. And of course, as always, we have Capo Day Williams, the founder of this wonderful show and the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, who is always working hard behind the scenes. As you may know, our mission here at Open Mic America is to support your local open mics, where you can go in person to see the songwriters performing their own original music. But tonight, thanks to technology, we get to travel all around the country and see those same performers in their very own living rooms. Without gimmicks or frills, this is the beating heart of American music, that tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. Tonight, we have 7 different states amongst all of our performers and tech people tonight. And tonight, you will see Gillis Mills, Shane Martin, Steve Azzaro, Jason Baker, Rich Fassler, our very own Mike Simpson, Clancy Kelly, Jennifer McQuaid, and John Gary. And now, without further ado, I think it's time to go ahead and get this show on the road with our first performer hailing to you from Grafton, Vermont, Gillis Mills. Are you ready? Perfect. We'll get you unmuted in just a second. Let's see. There we go. It is all yours.
Okay, here goes. This first tune I call Forbidden Fruit. I thought I saw you last night through the mist in Riverdale. Was that your baby crying? I couldn't really tell. Is that voice still full of feeling? Are them angel eyes still blue? Do you sashay through the season? Are your dreams all coming true? Then all them blazing time we had, rolling in fresh snow, that lost record, the raging down. How could I let you go? How could I let you go? Like an irate ocean, guilt came roaring in, tearing me up, talking me down, a sea of self-made sin. and all them blazing time we had, rolling in fresh snow. That lost raccoon, the raging dam, how could I let you go? How could I let you go? My soul is mostly frozen now, it's all string hollow too. This heart and beats with weakened strings, oh Lord, how I miss you. Lord, how I miss you. Lord, how I miss
Slide.
Awesome.
So, thanks. This next song is called Wrong. You can't know me like you say you do. You've got no idea what you're getting into. You're a little too green and unspoiled to see what I'm about. Please listen to me. I don't come from no privileged class. All I've ever done is bust my little ass. I'm nobody's child, my folks are gone. I invented the term living alone. Look over here with them big sad eyes. Can't you see I'm a high mileage guy? What's this I hear? You are just 22. You got no idea what you're getting into. I've got a daughter that's older than you. I'll bet I'm older than your daddy too. I'll be 71 when you're 33. Are you still sure you wanna hang around with me? Find a young man who'll go old with you. Somebody smart and good looking too. You can't know me like you say you do. You've got no idea what you're getting into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Very
What a
good.
great way to kick off the show. I'm going to pass you right over to Mike.
All right.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So my first question, I don't know how many of the folks here know this for sure, but I always do a little research on y'all before I start out, and I should say on all y'all. So it's Texas to New York to Vermont. What
Yeah.
would you say each of those locales has contributed to your songwriting?
Well, the experiences that I've had in growing up in Texas, and in the experiences that I had in New York, are what I attribute, what I write off of, I wasn't born yesterday. I've been around for a while, so I have a lot to write about, and it's easy. I got a head full of ideas too, and so it's not hard to come up with ideas, but it's hard. The hardest part for me isn't writing, but rather trying to be focused on the lyrics and what the ideas in the songs are, and to try to get them across with both the melody and the lyrics. That's what I focus on, and I never do them. Sometimes I get kind of close to rendering a song in a way that I think is appropriate for the song, but that's my challenge. I always try to render whatever I do appropriate to itself.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, one of the things about your voice, not meaning just the sonic elements of your voice, but your voice as a songwriter, is you've got a very authentic feel. What you do, and that probably comes partially from all those places you lived, right?
I guess I think if I could interrupt, and I'll try to shut up, but I never lost my Texas accent. Actually, I mean, it's kind of smoothed over after almost 50 years in New York City, living in the city. But anyway, yeah. So it's partially still that remaining Texas accent, that I had at birth.
Okay. Well, you're the one that's supposed to be talking, so please feel free.
Anyway.
So you talked about lyric. Does lyric come first for you during the songwriting?
No, they've been. I've come to a song from both sides. Both with a melody first, and melodies are actually the ideas of the melodies and the song ideas are not difficult, but actually the writing process is hard, and then figuring out how I want to do them with the guitar, because I try to do them again, like I said, honestly to the song, and yeah. I'm not using my vocabulary, my guitar skill vocabulary is super limited, but I do each song in a way that I try not to replicate what I've done, and I certainly am not drawing from someone else, like, oh, this will sound like so and so. It's not. I'm not deriving from other people, from other writers or guitar players, whoever. I try to do my own stuff.
It'd be fair to call it a very internal process.
I think, yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So now I'm also aware, because of my extensive dossier that I've developed on you, that Gillis Mills is your stage name.
Right.
What led you to pick that name as a stage name?
Well, it was my dad's two of my dad's 3 birth names.
There you go.
And I had when I was in New York, when I first began playing out new open mics, writing, and so forth. I used another name a totally fictional name called Spider Pruitt. That was the name that I invented. And I thought when I moved to Vermont, I thought that is too much of a cartoon name, So I thought, what do and the reason I don't use my birth name is that I have had and have relatives in the business, and I don't want people saying, oh, he must be related to so and so or something like. And I'm trying to let my music live on its own.
Yeah, I follow that. Yeah, I know. Spider Pruitt's a little bit of a loud rattle for the quiet of Vermont.
Yeah. It was great to walk down the street in the city though, and have and where I lived in the village, and have people say, "Hey, Spider," Yeah. I always laughed at it. And anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, so you've played on Open Mic America again. About how many times?
I'm not keeping track. Maybe Capo Dave knows. I'm only teasing Dave. I wouldn't expect. Anyway, I for a while, a little
Actually,
bit, and I really like it. It's fun. It's really fun, and being in my own studio, it's a privilege.
Yeah, it's a kick, isn't it?
It really
if you go on the website, by the way, the openmicamerica.com,
Yeah.
there's a place where you can actually go and see how many times you played. So
Oh, good. Okay.
he does
I'll
he
have to
does
check
keep
it
track
out.
of it. He's that kind of guy. Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Gillis Mills, or however we'll call you, it's a real pleasure. I really enjoyed hearing your stuff. That's some great stuff.
Thanks.
And as I say, I really like authenticity in what people play, and you really held that up like a banner. That was good.
Thanks. Thanks very
Man,
much.
all right. I'm gonna turn you back over to Laura here.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. And thank Gillis Mills for just opening up the show. I was really grooving along. I could totally see that as like the standout song that's so for some reason in the soundtrack of a movie, but people always remember the songs. And I just really enjoyed that. But now we're going to move on to another state. We're going to go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we're going to hang out with Shane Martin, who actually has 2 performances left this year at Dobra Tea. It will be the remaining Wednesdays from about 5:30 to 6:45. But lucky for you guys, you get to hear him here on Open Mic America.
Okay. Hi, everybody. You know, this time of year, the oil heat has kicked on in my place now, and it just messes with this acoustic guitar. Just messes with it. So I have to do a lot of tuning. Okay, well, let's see. First song's a little nicer, a little mellower. Let's hear it.
Good stuff, man.
Very fine.
And that was, well, the next song. Let's move on to that one. This is the most recent song. This is keeping the tradition of playing songs on this show that I've written. That's this one here, and this is actually the 8th one of this year. And of course, I switched over picks. Here we go. Hold on. All right. Damn it.
Very nice.
Indeed.
Oh, I like that one. That was great. And I'm sure everybody's anxious to learn some stuff about you. So, Mike, take him. It's all yours.
All right. Here we go. Shane Martin, here we are again, man.
It's great to see you again, Mike.
Yeah, likewise. So, let's talk a little bit about process, but let's start with how much do you consider genre at all in the pieces that you do? And what genre would you call what you do?
I don't consider. I mean, I can't say I don't at all. Of course, a little bit. You know, I mix things go. I have one song, which is actually, I think, pure reggae. So I
Uh-huh.
can call that one in a genre.
Well, that's a little bit simpler than some others because it's so totally dominated by the nature of the rhythm, right? Reggae. I mean, it's got the
Yeah.
beat, and it either does or it doesn't. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. There's it's I consider everything I do, no matter what style it's in, rock and roll.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
consider it
think
all
that's
rock and roll
fair. That's fair.
because you can do
Now,
anything in rock and roll.
for example, that second song, could you imagine that with full band and everything like that
Oh,
in the metal end of the world?
yeah, but you got to remember that it's more rock. I mean, it has hard rock parts to it,
Right.
definitely. But it has some this whole rhythm thing that goes through here.
But some heavy metal does
That's not
step
metal.
out, yeah, step out into that. Yeah, that's cool. Um, so you're playing at this one particular restaurant? You
Yeah, it's a
anywhere else?
tea house.
Tea
It's a tea
house, yeah.
house. They've been very happy. I've been there. This is total of 4 years. I
All
play
right.
there, and
You're a
normally it's
regular.
there's no advertisement. I don't promote or anything. Somebody else can do that for me if they ever care to do it. But I just want to play the guitar. This
Okay.
guitar. I just want to play this guitar.
So I know that when I listen to your stuff, I get lyric fragments floating through my brain every time I hear your stuff. It pulls words out of me. Does that happen with you? Do you ever have any sense of a line or two of lyric when you play something?
Actually, it. I do. I don't write them down, but the thing is, years ago I used to do that. I
Yeah.
used to write. I used to come up with an idea and write out the whole thing. But now I just and actually it started 4 years ago. The first time I played at this Dover T I played for like 4 months, and every other week, and they just wanted the ambiance of the guitar, not vocals. And I discovered during that time that I love letting my guitar develop a melody and sing during what I'm playing rather than me interrupting my guitar or accompanying my guitar. Just let
Right.
my guitar do the singing.
Well, you're echoing statements that I've heard from some very famous, largely instrumental guitarists. Emmanuel, for example, Tommy Emmanuel. He feels the same way about how he plays. And some of your stuff does have that same kind of a completeness in what you're playing, where it doesn't really require any lyrics to understand the picture you're painting, or the mood you're setting in. It's really strong in that way. Any expansion on your performance availability you thinking about for next year or so?
That's it's. I don't want to get involved in that sort. I mean, I do want to get involved in that sort of thing, but it stresses me out a lot.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would prefer to just be be in my space where me and my guitar can create the music. If
Right.
somebody ever wants to, I just keep trying, and if somebody ever takes notice, they can do that for me.
Okay. You
But
want an age. You
if
need an agent.
if it never amounts to anything, and I'm just sitting here playing my guitar and writing songs, I am just as happy as if somebody else was doing it and I'm playing songs for other people.
Well,
I do like playing for other people though. It is kind of neat.
well, you're here. You're playing for other people, and it's always good to see you. I'm glad to hear you play once again, and I
I'd like to
really
throw
do.
this in though, on that last note about playing for other people and the instrumental and the story things you've heard in my music is and the reason why I do a whole bunch of different styles that people might want to put into different ballparks is one of the things I enjoy there is the people are really there to have their tea, do some work, converse with friends, and I do a variation of music, and the energy of the room completely shifts based on what I'm playing, and I have fun playing with them without them knowing.
That's right. You're the puppeteer, and they don't even see the strings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a blast.
Well, they see those strings, but
I hope so.
yeah. Well, as I say, it's always very good to hear you. I hope you'll keep coming back here because we love what you do. And
Oh, by the way, I want to say one more thing. Back the very first time I was here, I said
Yes.
that I write 6 songs a year. Then I just stop playing them, and then before I start next year, I'll start writing songs, and then I write songs throughout the year. I've written 8 this year,
Oh,
and I'm keeping all of them. So
Good.
I'm expanding into something new for me rather than just tossing them all aside and starting all over. I'm
there
keeping
you
what I
go.
got.
Well, that's growth, which is always great in an artist, to see. Yeah.
I'm so
And I
old.
really appreciate the fact that you're willing to expose the new stuff to us. That's really nice. It's really nice to get your trust like that and to hear you. I hope you enjoy playing on Open Mic America because we sure like having you. All right, I'm going to turn you back over to Laura. And
Hey, thanks, Cable Dave. It's been a great year. Appreciate it very much.
All right, until next time.
All right, bye, Mike.
Yes, thank you, Shane. Those are some excellent songs, and it's always fun to hear kind of the background of how people play it, especially when you get to play it live in front of other people, because the energy of the room can definitely change, even if it's a song you've played before. And it's always so cool to hear the ins and outs of that. So thank you. Well, for our next performer, we're going to travel all the way to Killingworth, Connecticut to listen in on Steve Azzaro. And Steve, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Laura. Wonderful performances tonight. In August, when I was here, was asked some questions by Mike about, how do you create a song? And I said, and in the course of that discussion, I said, well, I'm thinking about a lyric. It's this, just what are you thinking? And I said, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that is what I'm thinking about. Well, I've worked on it. The title has changed of this song. It's not just what are you thinking, although it involves that subject. This song is called Speculating, and it's one of the latest song that I've written. So Speculating. What have you been thinking? What's going on in your mind? Lots of random memories, surprised at what you find. Are you lost in these musings, mired in the future or past, or aimlessly drifting on a lonely trip that lasts and lasts? Wonder what you're thinking in the quiet time, right between the words where the silence lies. Do you wonder about that voice? I'm just speculating, but you have a choice. Are your thoughts all tangled, twisted, going every which way, filling your mind with memories that grow louder every day? Or maybe those spirits alone that beckon you to the unknown, to a strange world that leaves you perplexed and alone. Who is that talking? Who that pestering me? Why the interruption? What does it see? Just what does it mean? Where's it going? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. Wondering what you're thinking in the quiet time, right between the words where the silence lies. Do you wonder about that voice? I'm just speculating, but you have a choice. That spirit voice will show up without any reason or rhyme, from deep within your soul, in that eerie world of no time. Don't go spending your life trying to figure out why and how. Just be mindful of now, now, now. What are you thinking?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how it got there, and it's still going too. It's really not done. This song, I wrote this late last year. I'm in a group called Musicians for the Greater Good, and we did a benefit concert for Harris Waltz. And I'm concerned about the entire political spectrum at this point. And anyway, this song is called "The Burden of Freedom," and we really have to defend our freedoms, folks. We have to be brave, and if we're not brave every single day, those freedoms will be taken away from us. So this is called "The Burden of Freedom." Freedom is a precious gift. We must defend our rights. You need to be aware and take care, or it'll vanish in the deep, dark night. Guaranteed by our Constitution, still need to be vigilant. We must be on guard and take care. Don't let it vanish in the cold, misty night. Can I choose my own way, or do they demand and control? Can I express my thoughts freely, or do they command and patrol? Can I practice my faith, not being judged or condemned, and in freedom protest without the fear of them? We will walk and talk, play, pray, live in freedom every day. But be on guard, you better take care, or you'll vanish in the foreboding night. We won't be silenced, we won't be left behind. We'll break those golden chains, freedom on our mind. Together all our people will sing a mighty freedom song. We won't be silenced because united we're strong. We will work, talk, play, pray, live in freedom every day. But be on guard, take care, don't let it vanish the foreboding night. Won't be pawns of the royal rich, corporations or the politicians. Challenge the abuse of power, not be silenced by oppression. We'll have power to protect our family and friends, and reject media lies and put corruption to an end. Oh, we gotta stay on guard to save freedom from being lost in the night. Speak, act, and think without being silenced or suppressed. Own property and earn a living, not tax obsessed. And protected by due process, not corrupted by money might. Choose our own destiny and always try to do what's right. We will walk and talk, play and pray, live in freedom every day. We're gonna turn the page. We're not going back. Well, we gotta move forward. We're never going back. Oh, we're never going back. Thank you.
Such good lyrics. Such good lyrics.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to pass you off to Mike now and learn a little bit more about what goes on in that head of yours.
Okay. When you find out, let me know.
Will do. Will do.
Hey, Mike.
Mike, you're on mute.
I am, yes. Mr. Azzaro, if you would please lie down on the couch, we will get inside the wine. Okay. There you go. So, a couple things. Poking around, looking at anything goes and seeing it's there. A lot of what you do appears to me to be in ensemble, in duets. Is that right? That you're most usual?
Yes, all my arrangements involve Marion, my singing partner, and when we perform, we have a fine bass player that plays with us also. But yeah, most of my work is done with in those arrangements. She's not generally available. I've been on vacation this week, not available again. But one time I want to have her join me and Bob join us also and do the whole group.
That would be very nice to hear. Yeah, that would be great. So I don't have a lot of mystery about where your ideas come from. They seem to come from the world around and from what's going on politically and socially and that kind of thing. And is that pretty much the dead center of what you do?
Well, I would say that what interests me, you've categorized it pretty well, Mike. If something bothers me, if I see a situation that exists that seems to be troubling to me and to other people, I will want to make a comment on it. I've written about 80 songs now, and I don't think you can categorize them, put them in any specific category, because they're all different. They're all different. And this burden of freedom is it's so important that we keep our rights, and they're being taken away from us, and wondering up how people think and what's going on in their minds. There's some people are taking positions right now that I just cannot understand what is going on in their mind and what they know for them to take the positions they're doing. I mean, they're good people, and that's what provoked just what are you thinking? How can you be thinking? And these are people, one good friend of mine, I've known him for over 70 years, totally diametrically opposed. I can't figure it out, but I've got to make a comment somewhere. And I had somebody, I did this performance, I performed this song out in an open performance. There were a lot of people present. And a gentleman came up afterwards, and turned out he was totally opposite in the political spectrum. But he said, I liked your song, which made me feel really good, because the song is about, it doesn't matter what your political persuasion is. Freedoms are precious, and our rights are precious. So I was pleased with that comment. And so I try to write songs that are somewhat universal and have a universal application.
Okay. So let's talk my abiding interest in songwriting is what people's process is like. Can you describe yours? Is there a typical way you write a song?
Well, in the case of just what are you thinking? Of course, behind that was what I had just described to you, this feeling that I could not understand where people were coming from. So using that as a basis, I would then begin to write lines. And I would say that this is probably the 10th version of that song with the lyrics. Lyrics are extremely important to me and how they run. So as I as I try to express my thoughts, I think one other gentleman said too, you got to struggle with the lyrics. There's no sense in having any word in there that you don't need. And I find once you work a lyric, it is very suggestive of the melody and the structure of the song, certain structures. But The Burden of Freedom was written, I'll give you another example. I wrote a song about a trek that is done over in Spain, in Portugal, El Camino de Santiago. Well, the topic just interested me, so I researched it and wondering why people would want to walk 300 miles and been doing it for thousands of years. And so it intrigued me, so I began to put together a song on it. I would say it's a learning process for me, and it's a great joy with the variety of songs that I've written, because I don't get tired of singing them.
Right, well, you've got a lot of choices there, yeah. What do you listen to, by the way, when you're not listening to yourself?
That's good. I do listen to a lot of contemporary folk music, and I do go to a lot of open mics, so I'm listening to a lot of other singer-songwriters, just like tonight. We just had here in Killingworth a music festival, which I helped organize at Deer Lake, which is a whole story behind that. But we had 20 musicians that came in for that, and each one of them original singer-songwriters, original songs. And just like tonight, the richness and the talent that exists at our level, and Shane said, there's a passion to create the music. The music is first. The voice of the instrument and the voice of the singer and the words, they're first. What comes later, so that passion I absolutely love. I love the passion. So I listen to singer-songwriters, new songs, and encourage other people to do that too. That's why I love the show. And this is my third time coming on. It's just wonderful to share thoughts and notes and with passionate people.
All right. Well, you know what? We passionate people enjoy having you. It's great to hear your stuff. Third time I've heard you, and it's always good to have you here. Keep writing, man. You're in a fine tradition of political vitriol in a non-vitriolic way. It's keep fighting for my rights, baby. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the way you conduct your interviews. They're very informative, and they touch, I believe, right on the important subjects. Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to return you to Laura.
Yes, thank you so much, Steve. Those were some awesome songs. Always good to hear just everything that's going on.
Thank you, Laura.
I love it. Well, we're going to travel next back to Vermont, where we started the show, and we're going to Montpelier this time with Jason Baker, who actually has an open mic every Thursday evening at the Whammy Bar, which is a cozy little pub in the back room of the Maple Corner Community Store in Calais, Vermont. He's going to be there for their Halloween open mic party. So if you guys are excited to see that, you get a little sneak peek right now. So Jason, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. For those who are from Vermont, who may want to go to that open mic, that's pronounced around here, these parts, we pronounce that callous. That's okay. Which is a mispronunciation in most. It's an anglicization of Calais, so it's spelled Calais and pronounced callous. And it's a cute, cool little place. It's basically the community store, and they just turn it into a bar at night. So there you go. I'm going to play a couple new songs that just were released online, digital distribution from my new album, my new EP, The Stars Are Out Tonight. This is a song called No One Sings the Blues Anymore. No one sings the blues anymore. No one wants to hear a thing about your killing floor, or how you were a fool, drove a good one from your door. Probably you have 'em, but it's best if you don't blab 'em. No one sings the blues. anymore. No one sings their sorrow nowadays. No one cares enough about you to listen anyway. So why not drop the feeling for a melody that pays? Probably you feel 'em, there's no excuse to spiel 'em. No one sings the blues anymore, no. No one lets their real feelings show. No one wants to open up and let their anger go. But when you sing the truth, it makes for a better show. Feelings are betrayed when you're not allowed to say them, and all of that repression could lead to a depression. A better way of dealing is to feel all your feelings, but if you dare to bring them, be careful not to sing them, 'cause no one sings the blues anymore, no, not anymore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No one sings. Yeah, that's a little number dedicated to a Nashville songwriter who said that phrase to me. This song is a little more serious. This is a song called Soldier's Heart. I don't know anyone in Mexico. I came here when I was 7 years old. I dreamed of being a hero. I dreamed of being bold. Joined up after 9/11, 2 tours in Afghanistan. My youngest boy is 7 now. I am a family man. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, a soldier of the USA. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, and though I was your soldier, you are sending me away. Things I saw in the war still haunt me to this day. And I was just a kid back then, and I was not okay. Back stateside I made mistakes, got busted but did my time. Now lawyers are on the phone, and my life is on the line. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, a soldier of the USA. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, and though I was your soldier, you are sending me away. I truly love this country, and I was proud to serve. Now I'm to be deported, and it's not what I deserve. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, a soldier of the USA. I'm showing you my soldier's heart, and though I was your soldier, you are sending me away. Though I was your soldier, you are sending me away. I don't know anyone in Mexico. I don't know anyone in Mexico. I don't know. I don't know. There you go.
Nice job.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
love a good song that feels upbeat, but then when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh,
Smack.
It's a tough situation for a lot of veterans.
All right, Mike, he's all yours.
All right. Pop me up on the screen and I'll start.
There he
digging
is.
into it. How you doing?
Hey man, good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm gonna change my original sound so we don't get all that noise extra. There you go.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. So, looking around online as I occasionally do, well, I do every time. I don't always find things, but I always look. Bob Dylan, Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie, Earl Scruggs, Ralph Stanley, Rick Paltieri. Those are the people you are compared to by people who write reviews of your music. What do you feel about standing in that ensemble?
Seriously proud and surprised. Surprised at least starting a couple years ago. So I started writing stuff, and I got to be honest, I did not have a deep knowledge of the folk community and folk music. I had a smattering knowledge. I'd been to Philadelphia Folk Festival. I had seen Rick Paleri on stage at the Philadelphia Folk Festival, and that's how I knew him. And he and I happened to both show up at a memorial for a street poet named Ken Lawless in Burlington. And I approached him, and that was when I said, hey, I remember you from the folk festival. And I just started writing songs, and something interesting happened. All my reviews said, this guy's like Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger in the tradition of, as it were. And I didn't know what all that meant. And I was sort of surprised by it. But I think the deal is I liked good acoustic music, the classic format and tones and structures and the styles, fingerpick guitar, that kind of thing. And I also like I like political songs, and I like sing-alongs. I've developed more of a like for sing-alongs as I've studied this stuff. But it's a great honor to be compared that way. And I was really, it's sort of shocking at first, and then you're like, okay, then it becomes a responsibility.
That's right. Yeah, it can be a burden. The only one of those that I have sort of a question about is Earl Scruggs, because you play push style, right? You play
yeah. So here's an interesting thing. If you listen closely to a couple of my songs, there'll be I do have 3-finger style happening, but it's not fast or anything because I'm not good at it yet, because it takes a few years to do that. And I learned from Rick Paleri. I think I mentioned this when I played banjo the last time I was here. I literally was an apprentice to him for a year to learn the Pete Seeger style of long banjo playing. And Pete Seeger's style did include everything, but he mainly it's up picking, some claw hammer, some of this, some of that,
Yeah, clawhammer is what I mean by push style. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody's got a different. Yeah. Well,
depending on
there's
where
also
you're
trying
from.
to start a real argument. Ask about a group of banjo players who are from different traditions. What does double thumbing mean? And
That's
they'll
right.
they'll be like
Yeah, you can
fisticuffs.
start a fight with that.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different words for the same things. But yeah. So yeah, Pete actually learned clawhammer, but he was really entranced with Sarah Baumgartner, I think the name was, when he went and saw that she's doing up picking, and he learned that, and that was really the Seeger style, the signature strum and style for that. For folk songs, it's perfect because you're playing a melody, you're getting a beat, and it really works. I would say I do have on my latest EP. I do have a song. I didn't abandon the banjo for the new EP entirely for the 12-string.
Right.
There is a banjo song on there, and it was inspired by the mentorship experience with Rick and his mentorship with Pete Seeger, and there's a sea captain that appears in there, and he may be a long neck player too.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about that first song.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard a whole lot of better lines in my life, particularly in the tradition of songs about making music. This one's almost up there with Paul Simon's "The Music Suffers, but the Music Business Thrives." Drop the feeling for a melody that pays. Okay, it's just What brought that on, son?
Okay. So so I was attending a songwriter retreat. It was a chance to go to Martha's Vineyard. There's a wonderful retreat that goes on there, and the people who do that are focused on the commercial country market. So that there are different things, and this for me was exploring whether that was something I was capable of, interested in, etc., and also just socializing with songwriters. And I got to go to Martha's Vineyard, so for a pretty inexpensive price, right? So it was cool. And these guys are real Nashville songwriters for real. And I'm still friends with these guys, Facebook, distant, from distance. I don't go to Nashville myself. A lot of people do. Want to, when they're songwriters, they make that connection. But this guy was talking about just commercial viability of stuff, not what he personally liked. He goes, sometimes you have to lay aside what you personally think is going to be great for something that's commercially viable. And he was talking about how he loved waltzes. And how, he's like, but waltzes have been out of style for a very long time. Like, it's not a thing. He goes, if there's an album cut, deep cut, that they need to stack something in an album, you can sneak a waltz in. He goes, but it's rare that anybody's going to, a plugger, in Nashville is going to buy a waltz, as it were. And then he's talked about the blues and how much he loved the blues and his guitar collection and all that. But then the phrase came out, but, the truth is no one sings the blues anymore.
Oh, there you
and
go.
I was just like, oh, okay. I wrote it right down. Yeah, and I was like, I get you. I know what he's saying, but he was lamenting it too. So it was like, he was like, I really would love to write a blues song or pitch blues songs, but commercially speaking, it's a dead end for in Nashville. And I thought that was a sad commentary, and I decided to write a song. It also kind of made me a little mad. So that's maybe where that line comes from.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, there you go.
The second song you're talking about something that, well, I'll let you get going because you don't want me to get going on that subject.
Well, yeah. To put it simply, since passage of a law in the mid '90s, over 96,000 veterans people who served our country, many of whom were medal winners, etc., who happened to be basically foreign-born citizens who weren't full citizens. Foreign-born nationals who weren't full citizens when they served didn't get, the special, consideration that they really do when this law basically kicks in and says, if you've got even the most minor misdemeanor, you're going to be deported, essentially. A lot of people were being deported for a few minor misdemeanors well in the past, things like that, things that didn't make any sense. We're not, obviously, if there's people who have committed dangerous crimes and under the law, they're supposed to be deported. That's one thing. But most of these, for the vast majority, 96,000 people, it just can't be the case. And it isn't the case. So
for traffic violations, for example.
Yeah, it's anything. It could be anything. But in many cases, these are people who actually did commit a crime, but then actually served their time. And it wasn't until a different administration came in and decided to enforce these laws more harshly that this sort of thing happened. So the story is actually someone's story, but I disguised it by I started looking around, and there's a lot of people's stories that were very similar. And so I decided to not pick on one guy, but make it a bit of an amalgam of some of these folks served in Afghanistan, some of these people served in Iraq, but some of the people who were deported served as far back as Vietnam. And it's just, the whole thing is an outrage. And so I'd like to draw attention with that song, that's all, and by telling the story.
Well, that certainly puts you in the tradition of those people we were talking about. You're doing the work of the folk artist and of the singer-songwriter by doing the songs like that. And Jason Baker, you best come back, because I always enjoy what you do, and it's a real pleasure to hear you and be involved with the interview with you. I really enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Mike. Guilty as charged, I guess, huh? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Convicted. Okay. Here's Laura.
But not blacklisted.
Move us along here.
Yes, we've had a bunch of really good artists, and we've got more coming. In fact, next up is one that you've seen on this side of the mic, but today is going to be one of our performers, our very own Rich Fassler from Bainbridge Island, Washington. And he actually goes to the virtual, not only Open Mic America, but Music Matters showcase. And he's also available on in-person open mics at the Fletcher Bay Winery in Bainbridge Island. And of course, he's in a trio called the Harmony Wombats, which is a great name that I heartily endorse. And they're going to be playing at the Wing Point Country Club on November 1st. And they'll also be playing at the Fletcher Bay Winery on November 27th. But for now, Rich, you're ours. So show us something.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Welcome, everybody, to Bainbridge Island, the birthplace of pickleball. Yep, that's true. Okay, I got a useless trivia. Got a couple of new songs I'm going to play tonight. First one is called A Lonesome Man. Love, but then I ran. Tried to tell her why. She just sat and cried. She didn't understand. Another day, another town, another verse, yeah, another round. I've got my dream, and I won't back down. But I'm a lonesome man. Under a spell, thinking time was gonna put me where I should have been. Far from home on a path that seemed a likely destiny, but not for me. The Lord of money and fame, everyone would know my name. But all that love, hell, it never came. Still I'm a music man. Under a spell, thinking time is gonna put me where I should have been. Far from home on a path that seemed a likely destiny, but not for me. Yet still I chase that dream. It's always farther than it seems. Sometimes I just sit and scream. I'm a lonesome man. I've got my hopes, hope she understands. I'm a music man. Thanks so much.
Anyway, Rich.
Thank you. Let me turn things off here and switch instruments. And put this one right over here. All right. Okay. Let's see if we're all. I think that'll do it. Okay. Playing this on a guitar my singing partner Eric actually gave to me. And I just let this song, I let the guitar create this song. This one's called Sugar Daddy. your sugar daddy. Wanna be your jelly roll. Wanna be the one who loves you. I wanna be your heart and soul. Met a girl in Motown, one in Tennessee. They could sing the right notes, but there was no harmony. Rode a bus to Boston, walking by the bay, heard an angel singing. He made me feel reborn that day. Wanna be your sugar daddy, wanna be your jelly roll, wanna be the one who loves you. I wanna be your heart and soul. Mountain to the deepest sea, never fear the future, 'cause your love will set me free. Full of sunshine, it's the color of your hair. The stars, they shine upon you, they can take you anywhere. Your eyes reflect the ocean, deep blue with purity. When you're driving to the water, let me be the one you see. Wanna be your sugar daddy, wanna be your jelly roll, wanna be the one who loves you. I wanna be your heart and soul. Wanna be your sugar daddy, wanna be your jelly roll, wanna be the one who loves you. I'm on top, but you're in control. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. All right, Mike, are you ready?
Born that way.
Perfect.
All right. Rich Fassler, how the heck are you?
Mike. How you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing okay. How about you?
Oh, not too bad for an old guy.
Yeah, you sounded good. All right.
Thanks, man.
So, full disclosure, Rich and I are both staff members here on this thing. He more so than I think a little bit, but he often does the he does the interviewing sometimes, and he does
mostly the emceeing, just the show host.
Mostly the emceeing, yeah. So I'm gonna veer a little bit from what I might have asked other people.
Good news or bad news?
I think good news. So I went and I don't think I ever had actually researched you before, because I felt like I had things to talk about already. You've got a pretty wide footprint in folk music in terms of the kinds of things that you do. Maybe not thousands of people are hearing you do it, but you do a lot of different stuff that's out there, and that's good. What drives that? What keeps you doing this at your advanced age of 52 or whatever?
You're so kind. That's a good question. Before we moved up here to Bainbridge Island, I was more a rock and roller. I was an old geezer rock band, and I was more concerned with my pedal board. That was the top concern, and the electric guitars. But once we moved up to Bainbridge Island, there's a huge Americana folk, call it what you like, community up here, and so I got in with those people, and and formed the band that I'm in now, and I, it turned me back onto acoustic instruments and songs with acoustic instruments. And so, I taught myself enough chords on the mandolin to be able to, to incorporate mandolin in some of the songs that we do with the Harmony Wombats. And, my acoustic 12 string and the 6 string. And it just, you get to a point in life, Mike, where you don't have to worry about work anymore. You don't have to worry about putting the kids through school. And music for me has always been a big thing. And so I'm enjoying the time. I just keep going. Writing songs, attending virtual open mics. Certainly performing, and kind of just exploring.
Cool. So where next?
Whew. I don't think there's any. I don't know. I don't know where next. I mean, I don't think. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you where next. Now that you asked, I've got a banjo hanging up on my wall, and it's been in my closet probably for 25 years or more.
Well, some people would say that the move from closet to wall alone is terrifying.
I spent a few hours yesterday, putting more instruments, the acoustic instruments up on the wall. I decided it was time for that banjo to get up there. So I think I am going to, kind of slowly get into the banjo. I've got a couple of really nice ukuleles up there that I haven't played in a while. I may incorporate those into some songs. The bad news when you perform, though, is the more instruments you introduce into your songs, the more you have to schlep to places you perform. And right now, the other two people I play with, they've got one instrument each that they take. Me, I've got 3. I got the mandolin, I got my 6 string and my 12 string. So, I'm not sure I want to introduce any more into the mix. But for home studio and recording, I think the banjo is going to be next.
Cool. So, wombat, the definition thereof is a short, hairy, muscular, marsupial quadruped. Which part of that do you hold down in the Harmony Wombats?
Was there anything about old? Was old in the
No,
definition?
not necessarily.
Oh.
Apparently, yeah,
Apparently they left that out.
yeah.
Well, the reason we chose Wombats was because it was so, in the Harmony Wombats, it was a very unusual name. Anybody who's been in a band nowadays, in the old days it wasn't a big deal, but nowadays, I mean, you need to come up with a different kind of name because you need your URL. And you need your presence on the web. If you have a name like is everybody else's name, I mean, there are a lot of bands that across the country. There's probably 50 bands of the same name. It's kind of tough to get space on the internet. So, yeah. So we enjoyed singing harmony, and we're trying to come up with a name. And actually, my partner in the band, Eric, he had used that as part of an email address, and the last name of Wombat. So we picked it. It was great. It's a funny, it's an interesting character.
It's memorable.
It is. I tell you what, most people don't forget it. And who doesn't like wombats? And we've got wombat ears that we use from time to time. I mean, it lends itself to.
That may be a bit excessive, but okay.
Well, listen, you
It's
do what you
probably
got to
cute,
do.
Yeah, it's probably cute.
Yeah.
When you're doing kids songs, you can wear those. Yeah. So let's talk about the banjo just for a moment. You
Yes.
probably already know this, but here's the thing. It's just like bug spray. DDT. Down, down, thumb, down, down, thumb, down, down, thumb. That's clawhammer.
Ah,
Which is a venerable and, in my mind, the most proper way to play the banjo. And it comes from the fact, and the name comes from the fact that it was these farmers that played the banjo worked so hard that their hands couldn't do rolls or picking. All they could do is hold their hand like this. So it's down, down, thumb, down, down,
Yeah.
thumb, down. Done with the arm more than that. So start with that.
I'm going to try that because I'm not a, I don't really pick my guitar, and in order to do that on banjo would be very daunting to me. So yeah, claw hammer I think is I think you're right. I think it's the way to go.
Yeah. All right.
Any
Well,
any
I
other
will-
tips? Listen, if you have any other tips, let me know. And then
Don't let anybody sucker you into buying one that has 7 frets before the knob. Don't get one of those long neck things until you've already gotten into the banjo a little bit. That's the
I've
thing
seen
to
those.
do later.
Got it. No, I've got this old K banjo. It's probably about 50 years old.
All right. Good
All
choice.
right.
Chicago made. Well, Rich, always a pleasure to see you, hear you, and even to interview you. Yes, it is. And I'll see you again soon here, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care.
I'll be looking forward to hearing some songs on the banjo at some point in the future, Rich. That'll be fun.
Be careful.
Play hot cross buns for us. Just something simple to start off with. It'll be great. But you know what? It's fun to talk about different instruments because that's a perfect segue to talk about our fun extra thing that we've been doing here at Open Mic America, which happens to be a free guitar. Free guitar? That's right. If you haven't ever tuned into Open Mic America before, we have a drawing that we do. Everyone who is on the show, both performers and volunteers alike, gets a ticket in that fishbowl that Capo Dave is holding. What do you get if your name gets drawn out of the fishbowl? It's an annual drawing for one of Capo Dave's dandy hybrid guitars. And if you're wondering what makes it a hybrid guitar, it's if a good archtop guitar got married to a D28, their kid would sing like a dandy. And you'll find a link to the dandy hybrids at the bottom of the Open Mic America homepage if you're interested in learning a little bit more about them. I know Capo Dave is quite proud of them, and I think they sound pretty good. I'm excited to see who gets pulled at the end of this year.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, folks, I'd like to say a few words about these guitars. Some folks have bought them now. Mike Simpson has one of these guitars. And you may know this has been my project for 3.5 years. I've built 32 now, all to the end of trying to build an instrument that more or less breaks, splits the difference between a really good arch top and a really good flat top. These guitars look like flat tops, but a flat top guitar has a top that only rises a little less than 1/8 of an inch in an arch. These guitars rise 1/4 of an inch in a dome. That's one thing. Number two, these guitars have a one-piece floating ebony bridge. And so the top is being pumped this way, as opposed to a flat top, which is kind of a very complex side-to-side motion. That's the second thing. The third thing is these guitars have 0 fret. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. There. There is a string guide that substitutes for a nut, and so the strings initiate right on a fret. And so the guitar always feels like it has a capo on it. The action is perfectly intonated and very low. That's the third thing. The fourth thing, and this took me 28 guitars to stumble onto this. This is a pin bridge, but it's down at the tail of the guitar. And if you go on Google and search unusual guitar designs, I couldn't find it. I don't think it's ever been done. And where mostly guitars that have a floating bridge have a tailpiece, a metal tailpiece. I know you've seen those like on F-hole jazz guitars and what have you. What this guitar is doing is it's picking up a little bit of the sound that was being distributed with a flat top right over the saddle the strings go in. So it's picking up a little of those overtones, and it's given this guitar, it's taken it out of the clangy realm and given it enough overtones to have some interesting sound. It projects, it's very strong, has a lot of volume, and the notes are very clear one by one. Anyway, Mike Simpson's going to play one next, so you'll be able to see and hear. Obviously, like all your guitars, they sound better actually in a room, but I'm really excited about it. This is number 32, and I'm building number 33 right now. And they've had that new pin bridge since number 28. So anyway, thanks for listening, and good luck, all of you all who are on the show tonight. There's your names, and they're going in the fishbowl. We're going to have a big drawing December 15th. So to give it back to Laura. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. It is very exciting to be able to hear about the guitars, and having listened to like all the little bits that all the tidbits that we hear as you've been making them has been a lot of fun. But of course, I think we're going to get to hear one tonight because our very own Mike Simpson is going to be playing next for us from Saratoga, California. And he plays on not only Open Mic America, but the Mike Corona virtual open mic and the Music Matters virtual open mic. And now, Mike, it's your turn on the mic.
All right. So I'm not starting out with the Dandy, but I'll get to that. I'll get to it, I promise. I think Capo Dave might throw me off if I didn't play one of his guitars. This is a rarity for me. Not because I don't want to, but I never managed to get it done, and that's a co-write. So this was written by me with a young woman whose name I do not remember, because, well, when you get to my age, that happens. But anyway, we wrote this in a songwriting class by Carol McComb. She was teaching the songwriting class. And one of the exercises that she and a lot of good songwriting teachers do will be to have you, you'll be in class and they'll have everybody write a set of lyrics. And then you hand the lyrics randomly drawn to another name, to somebody else that's in it. And I got these lyrics, and this is the song that came out. Ran out, it's not too late to get there. You might still be in the park. I don't want you waiting for me while the sky is getting dark. I know I said that I would meet you there, but I could not find my best gown. Find my best gown. Oh, you don't know how far I would go to keep you from feeling let down. Ran out, it's not too late to get there. You might still be in the street. Of course you might misunderstand me when we finally do meet. Oh, I get nervous when I'm chasing you, and my words just seem to stumble. Oh, you don't know how far I would go. When I mess up, I just crumble. You know, I'm not perfect, but see, people still can grow. And I'm willing to be open to and get a clue and go to you and hope the words just flow not too late to get there. You might still be in the car. I can hear the engine running, and I know I'm not that far. I can see your face appearing, and I wonder if you worried. Did you worry? Oh, you don't know how far I would go, and I promised that I hurried. I know that you're not perfect, but I love just how your eyes glow. And I think that I can trust my heart and take my part and make a start and hope that you will know that I'm ready now. I'll run out. It's not too late to get there. Run out. It's not too late to get there. Oh, run out. It's not too late to get there. Run out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good,
Get out.
good.
Excellent.
Hey, thank you. Now I need to put my fingernails on here. Alright, get this PVC in place. And there we go. And this is the Dave Williams Dandy guitar, number 28, the one that broke the mold on his methodology. And let me bring up my screen. I stopped being able to see people there for a minute. All right. So one of the things about Open Mic America that I truly cherish, I like playing my own stuff, and that's okay. But on the other hand, I'm a big fan of old blues. And this one is definitely old blues, no question about it. The idea is that it's got to be something that's published before 1925, and this qualifies by about a year. Said a twinkle, twinkle, on his chest a star. Along come Brady in his electric car. Got a mean look right there in his eye. Gonna shoot somebody just to watch him die. 'Cause he been on the job too long. Oh, Duncan was tending the bar. Along come Brady with his shiny star. Duncan said, Brady, you are under arrest. And so Duncan shot a hole right in Brady's chest. 'Cause he been on the job too long. Brady was a big fat man. Doctor looked down, took a hold of his hand, reached for his pulse, and the doctor said, I believe to my soul, King Brady, you're dead. You've been on the job too long. So up on a hillside, 800 a hand, vases of roses standing around, 2 horses and a rubber-tied hack bring him down to the graveyard, but it won't bring him back 'cause he's been on the job too long. When the woman all heard King Brady was dead, they went home in their black, and they came back wearing red, slipping and a sliding, shuffling down the street, the big Mother Hubbards and the stocking feet, saying he been on the job too long. Oh, Brady, 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 you know you done wrong, breaking in here when this game's going on, busting down the window, tearing down the door. Now you lying dead on the barroom floor, and you've been on this job too long. Well, it was twinkle, twinkle on his chest a star. Along came Brady in his little electric car. Got a mean look right there in his eye. Gonna shoot somebody just to watch him die, 'cause he been on the job too long. They say that he been on the job too long.
Nice sounding guitar.
Yeah, it's a good guitar.
Some good picking.
Right.
Really nice.
Well, I know that everyone's looking forward to seeing Mike interview himself with his sock puppets, but instead, we're going to have our very own Daphne Ramil interview Mike. So, Daphne, he's all yours.
No sock puppets?
Hey, Mike. Well, if you want to take out a sock puppet and answer me, that would sure be amusing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be all that easy.
So, Mike, I met you in 1997,
Mm-hmm.
but you're still a mystery to me. So here, I get to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Let's just start with one thing I've always wondered about, never asked. You are everywhere, but nowhere. You are everywhere in all these events and concerts and songwriting organizations and on OMA and open mics, and yet online presence, no. Is that on purpose, and why?
To answer it honestly and bluntly, it's a holdover from a previous, shall we say, line of work.
Oh, okay. So it's not a musical answer that you have about,
No, I just
music
don't.
online, because I would always like to find you, and see what you're doing, and I'm sure other people would also, but they have to go to special places like here in order to hear you, which is maybe it makes it even more special. So thanks for that. And let's take your first song. It was a co-write at a workshop, you say?
Yeah, Carol McComb used to teach physically at Griffin Stringed Instruments in Palo Alto, one of the great guitar stores in the world, particularly for acoustic guitars. Although nowadays they've got a lot of electrics there. So she taught there, and I took classes from her and taught some classes for her and filled in for her when she was sick in some of her classes and stuff. But my favorite one that she did were the songwriting classes. So I took that several times from her.
And you also lead songwriting workshops, don't you?
True.
Yeah, and do you still participate in ones that other people lead?
I do, although now it's pretty much strictly online since the pandemic.
So you're a prolific writer. So tell us about what the songwriting workshops do for someone like you or other people who already write, but I
think probably besides the the masses of great advice I get from these songwriters who are all tremendously better than I am at writing songs, like people here. You get that, and that's good, and that's educational, and that's fine. But the main thing that I like is I love the exercises where they end up generating one or more, sometimes, hooks for you. I have one song, for example, where Carol wrote up on the board, and she wrote up like, I don't know, 15 words. And what she said, I am told, what she said was, pick one of these words and use it in a chorus or a verse. And, learning how to take a notion and from the hook kind of idea all the way to completion of part. What I heard her say was, take these words and put them in a song. So I kind of overachieved a little bit, and I took all the words and put them into a song. It tells you something about me, I guess. Anyway, and so that kind of thing. Listening to people in a songwriting workshop work through their stuff, and being able to maybe make suggestions, or at least say, Steve Seskin's famous line, is that word there really the best word you could find? Is that really the best line you could write? Is that really the best chorus for this song? And that's a great thing to ask yourself. And after you've had a couple of Steve's gimlet eyes on you while he's asking that question, it becomes part of your repertoire of writing.
Thank you for that. And now your second song, a heritage song, and you are famous for doing heritage songs on this show, and I love that you do it. So how do you pick which one you're going to present?
Well, I searched through. This thing to my left here is actually a big cabinet underneath the quilt, and there's an awful lot of old songbooks in there, and then there's of course the web. And so what I do is, that song, however, came to me through a place called My Corona. We have this wonderful woman that lives near me. She lives up in Sacramento, who runs this open mic called Open My Corona. And it's the offshoot of a live open mic called the South Bay Folks Open Mic, which is where I met this woman, who is in fact Daphne Ramil, and was delighted. I mean, Daphne is I should be such a songwriter,
This interview is about you, mister.
but I have a point that is about me.
Okay.
So that community of people has generated a bunch of stuff. For example, Daphne originally started doing the thing on Tuesdays and Fridays, open mic, and eventually her schedule changed, and so now I'm taking on and I'm running the Friday open mics. And so I get to see these people, I get to hear them, and so a lot of stuff that I hear comes from them. There's one guy named Andy Karn who's also been on this show lots of times, and he'd been working on this song, Duncan and Brady, and never quite got to the end of it, and set it aside, and I said, oh, I steal that. So I took that song. A lot of it are just knowing who the artists are who were in that time. I've done a couple of songs on here, heritage songs, by Bessie Smith. Love Bessie's stuff, great stuff. She's in the time period. I know if I look up Bessie Smith top 25 songs, I'll find something I can do, But the big thing about it is selecting is I take them, I attempt to play them, I record it, I look at myself playing it and listen to myself, and then about 3 out of 5 times I go, nope, not that one, and look for something else. That's the biggest thing for me, is I have to be able to feel like I can handle the song.
Yeah, we love the ones that you pick, and that was a
Well, thank you.
great song. And then you played 2 different guitars, and I know you are a connoisseur of guitars, Mike, and
I guess maybe
you have many. So maybe tell us about those 2 different guitars, and how do you decide what guitar you're going to play on what song?
Okay. Well, the connoisseur thing about guitars, the actual way I move a guitar into the stable is because there's some kind of a hole in what I have for what I want to play. So there are guitars I have I don't play as often as others, and one of the ones I play most often is this one. This is number 28, the first one of Dave's guitars where he used the pin bridge technique on it. I played it for you. You heard it. It's a marvelous guitar. I would say, for me, this one sort of sits in two of my mental slots for guitars. One is, can I take this guitar, whatever guitar it is, can I take it and go to some place that I don't really know what I'm going to necessarily play? I don't know what everybody else is going to play, but can I play anything on that guitar? A Dandy Hybrid is a marvelous guitar because you can play anything on it. I've gone so far as to play classical pieces on it. It works. The other guitar, I guess, is appropriate for what you were saying about me earlier. I purchased this at a local guitar shop in Los Gatos, Keith Holland Music, and it's very interesting because those guys, they know from guitars. We know, roughly speaking, because of a couple of clues about the guitar, when it was made. And it was made roughly about the same time I was. It's probably somewhere between 1952 and 1956 that the guitar was made. However, we do not know the name of the maker. We do not know the name of who distributed it. It looks very much like guitars that were sold in the Montgomery Ward's catalogs and Sears catalogs and other catalogs like that, but it is not branded anywhere. There's no still existing scrap of paper on the inside to tell you that. No serial number is on it, and it has a couple of interesting things about it. If you think about the Capo Dave guitar, first off, note this. This is a guitar built 70 years ago that's using the same zero fret technology that Dave sort of reinitiated with his guitar. And this guitar is original, except for this is not original. The one that was originally on it was brown, and it curled up and died, basically. And the tuners are not original because I'm fussy about tuning, and they just didn't work that well. So I put on some old Martin tuners that I had hanging around. And it's been refretted to help handle some of the age effects on the neck. But other than that, it's pretty much original. And I'm very fond of it. I love the sound of it. It's good for kind of bossa nova kind of stuff, and it's good. It's you can play some nasty blues on it too, kind of stuff. So it's a guitar that I got mostly because I just dug it when I saw it hanging on the thing. And I watched them restoring it and doing all that stuff, and I've talked way too long.
No, okay. So just before we go, I just want to, instead of interviewing, I want to say to you and the whole world that we are very grateful that you have joined our team and you are on the show, often helping out as an interviewer. Great interviews that you do, as everyone can tell.
Thank you.
And we love your music too. So thank you for being you, Mike. And I'm glad that we know each other and that you're here today. So
Well, that sounds to me like you owe me a little bit. Is that true? Do you feel a little bit of obligation? Because I have a wish that you can fulfill.
Oh no, I just have joy. Yeah, what's your
No.
wish?
I have a wish that you can fulfill. I want people to write in and demand Daphne Ramil play on Open Mic America. If you
Oh
have
my
not
gosh.
heard her, she is wonderful. So that's
Thank you.
my thing.
Thank
All right,
you.
man.
Well, maybe. Thank you. I will, if you send it to me in writing and, I'll put it in the box and, see.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. And now, thank you, Mike. We are going to go back to Laura.
Yes, thank you, Daphne. Thank you, Mike. Those Always fun. We have a good time here at Open Mic America. And if you're thinking, wow, that looks like fun, I wish I could be involved either as a performer or as one of the volunteers to help make the show go, hit us up on openmicamerica.com. That's our website. And I'm sure we can find a spot for you. But in the meantime, we have our spots already filled for tonight, because next up from Vancouver, Washington is the one and only Clancy Kelly, who often plays the first Friday at the North Clark County Historical Museum in Amboy, Washington, and at the L'été Da in Vancouver, Washington on the third Wednesdays. But for now, Clancy, the stage is yours.
Hello. Am I on the right screen? Okay, there I am. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I've got a couple of covers I'm going to do. I'm very impressed at the experience level and the years of experience of the previous players. So this one's about a natural disaster, Mississippi River flood. It's written by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie. It's called When the Levee Breaks. Now if it keeps on raining, that levee's gonna break. If it keeps on raining, that levee's gonna break. And all that water will have no place to stay. Well, all last night I sat on that levee and moaned. Oh, all last night I sat on the levee and moaned, thinking about my baby and my happy home. Now if it keeps on raining, that levee's gonna break. If it keeps on raining, that levee's gonna break. And all those people won't have no place to stay. Now look here, mama, what am I to do? Oh, look here, mama, what am I to do? I ain't got nobody to tell my troubles to. I worked on that levee, and mama, both night and day. Oh, I worked on that levee, and mama, both night and day. And there ain't nobody to keep that water away. Now crying won't help, and praying won't do you no good. Oh, crying won't help, and praying won't do you no good. 'Cause when that levee breaks, well, mama, you've got to lose. I worked on that levee, and mama, both night and day. Oh, I worked on the levee, mama, both night and day. I worked so hard to keep that water away. Now it's a mean old levee, it
It caused me to weep and moan. It's a mean old levee. It caused me to weep and moan. And leave my baby and my happy home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
This one's brand new out for me anyway. I mean, it's not a brand new song. It's a traditional song, but I just started playing it. And so outside of family and close friends, this is the first public appearance of it. It's a traditional song called He Was a Friend of Mine. Covered by many, 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 many folks. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He never had no money to pay for his fines. He was a friend of mine. He died on the road. He died on the road. He's just a poor boy carrying a heavy load. He was a friend of mine. He never did no harm. He never harmed no one. He's just a poor boy a long way from home. He was a friend of mine. I stole away and cried. I stole away and cried. I don't have any money and I can't be satisfied. Oh, he was a friend of mine. I stole away and cried. I stole away and cried. Never had no money and can't be satisfied. He was a friend of mine. Was a friend of mine. was a friend of mine. Every time I hear his name, can't keep from crying. He was a friend of mine. Oh, he was a friend of mine. Thank you. Nice, very nice.
So nice. All right, Mike, it's all you.
Okay, here I'm gonna share the screen here with Clancy. Clancy, you played here a few times before, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I only once I think have I heard you before, but very impressive. I have to say that's the first time anybody's one-upped me on the heritage songs, doing 2 of them in a night. No, I'll have to do that sometime. No. Lawyer, homeless advocate, folk singer, songwriter. Have I missed anything?
Well, I'm certainly not a lawyer.
Are you not? Oh, there was something on the web that I saw that seemed to imply that you were playing at something that was a group of lawyers.
Well, I was supporting them. There was a battle of the bands for lawyer bands. It was drumming up money for pro bono services. So I supported them in that. And they had at the Brick House here in Vancouver, they had a battle of the bands.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope you didn't find that offensive.
No, not at all.
Some might.
No.
So
I am in a band though. We call ourselves the Martin Street Mules, a blues roots duo. So yeah, a friend of mine plays harmonica, and so we have a group.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things online where I was able to hear you and your partner playing the harmonica player.
Yeah, Dave Benedictus.
Benedictus, yes. Very cool stuff. I have to say, as I said, I am very fond of the older blues stuff, and I love it when I run into someone who impresses me with the authenticity, the genuineness of their playing style. And in your case, it's very much coupled with those same effects in the vocals. Very nice work. Do you write songs yourself?
I haven't gotten that. Gene yet. I'm working at it, but I just haven't got things put together.
Okay. Well, you look around online, and you can find a lot of places where people have put up little guides to how to get started and stuff on that songwriting. Because I don't have any question that as steeped as you are in that stuff, you'll be able to write something about current things. You'll find a hook, something like, living on the street, or something like that, and you'll be able to write a blues song about homelessness. It'll all just come to you, and you've got the chops to do it. What do you mostly do? Do you mostly play open mic kind of stuff, or do you mostly do gigs with the Martin Street?
Well, that's I started playing when I retired, so I haven't got a lot of years into it. And opens mics were the way that I got through the stage fright part, and I still have it, but it was just a way to get started. And Dave and I have had an opportunity to play some First Friday events. Mm-hmm. We just got done with it. It's really neat. So neither of us really need the money, and if you do a 2-hour gig, I think you should be paid. So Dave and I have decided to donate all of our proceeds and anything in the tip jar to the Council for the Homeless here in Vancouver. And so we drummed up almost close to $600 this year playing First Fridays and tips. And then we actually opened for their gala fundraiser here last Wednesday. We did a half-hour set as people were joining. So So we're starting to get out and try to find places to play. A 2-hour gig is tough because I'm the only one that sings. It's a pretty taxing on me. So trying to find 1-hour shots or 45-minute shots is where we are, and it could be retirement homes. We'll have to see. We're gonna try this winter.
Yeah, well, good on you. One of the best ways to do that, and you have some people here that, Mr. Fassler, for example, lives up in your area with the Harmony Street Wombats, is maybe to try to find other bands that don't want to do 2 hours, and you can do an hour each, or find 3 of them, and that's 45 minutes around, kind of a thing. Don't miss that opportunity to get your stuff out there, because it's really good. Let me ask you this. You notice that I like to ask process and technique questions, a lot of it. And in a duet, that is what I call, and don't take this wrong, it's an imbalanced duet. It's not two guys each with, or a guy and a gal each with a guitar kind of thing. We've got this kind of, both people are kind of doing a similar kind of thing, and they hand it back and forth, or whatever, and like that. You've got 2/5 of a blues band,
Right.
Yeah, short the bass player, the piano player, and the drummer. But it's. Let me ask you this: how do you go about putting together a set list? How do you choose what songs to do, what order to do them in?
Well, I've learned through experience to start with the easiest ones first.
Okay.
And kind of get your feet underneath you. And I don't know that I have I want to make sure that the keys are not the same, right? We're not playing in the same key. Or I'm a big fan of Mississippi John Hurt. So either you do a Mississippi John Hurt set or you spread it out. And so that's kind of our guiding light. And if there's more harmonica, then I can take a break with my voice in between on some songs. So yeah, it's kind of keep the chords a little bit different, make the songs a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't forget to throw in there my guy, the guy that hooked me on the blues, taught me the introduction of how to play him, Reverend Gary Davis. Get him out there too.
Yeah, I do a memorial service type song. I do Death Don't Have No Mercy. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a little tough in some venues, but yeah, Reverend Gary Davis is one. Yeah.
And so you talk about not repeating the same key. Do you also make consideration for trying to break up the rhythmic elements among the songs and that kind of thing, and the overall feel? Do you work on that mentally?
Yeah, we try to. There's some faster and some slower. Some are. There's this woman blues song that I do. It really draws you down. So you want to kind of have a bounce song, either front or back of it, to move that stuff around.
Yeah, because to quote Mr. Davis himself, the blues ain't all one thing. There's a wide variety of things that are called blues that you can play.
Yep.
And you got the solid guitar skills to be able to do almost any of them, I'm sure. Well, it was nice talking to you. I really enjoyed your music. I hope to hear you here again. And unless you have a shout out you want to do to anybody, I can hand you back over to Laura.
No, I'm impressed by the experience and the years of service that all of you folks have put into music. And music's a way to keep your brain active, and it's a way for people to communicate. So thank you to everybody.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Laura. Back to you.
Thanks, Mike. And thank you, Clancy. It's only because of people like you who make the music that we even have anything to listen to and enjoy anyway. And it's pretty awesome. And we're going to keep right on going with our next performer, coming from Auburn, Maine, going to the other side of the country now. It's Jennifer McQuaid, who plays at the Catbird Cafe in Weymouth, Massachusetts, and in the Rosendale Open Mic. So Jennifer, if you are ready, the stage is yours.
I think I am. Thanks, Laura. I'm just going to start it off a little bit easy tonight. This song is called Talk to Me. You don't talk to me anymore. Your silence leaves me wanting more. Don't hide the feelings you keep inside. Let me in, 'cause I'm on your side. Don't be afraid to talk to me. I just wanna share your hopes and dreams. Your thoughts are frozen in time. Let me warm you with this heart of mine. I just wanna get closer to you. Do you feel the same way I do? Don't walk away, 'cause I'll never know what you hide deep in your soul. Don't be afraid to let me know. I don't ever want to let you go. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. The time is now for new horizon. You're my sun, you're the light that keeps shining. Don't throw it away by words unspoken. You keep me warm with a heart that's broken. Don't be afraid to talk to me. I just wanna share your hopes and dreams. Don't be afraid to let me know. I don't ever wanna let you go. Whoa. Talk to me.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much. Now we're going to pick it up just a little bit. This is an older song. Well, not that old, a few months old or whatever. But I had a lot of instruments behind this song, so I was trying to, relearn it with the acoustic, and I'm like, what the heck did I do now? So, but anyways, this is called Fade Away. To fall, hoping you might call. Been a long time without you. After all we've been through, the pain in my heart won't fade away. We threw it all away much too soon. This empty feeling fills my room. I wanna hold you one more time. I need to feel your sunshine. I can't go on without you. simpler time when you were mine. Now you're with someone new, someone that I used to know. The pain in my heart won't go away. You stole my heart long ago. I want you to know I can't get you out of my mind. I'm a prisoner just doing time. Oh, I must go on without you. There's nothing more I can do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I always enjoy your songs, Jennifer. And now, Mike, if you're ready, it's interview time.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
I'm a little bit tired tonight, but other than that, doing well, thank you.
Well, I couldn't have told that from what you were playing. You rock. You rock, Jennifer.
Thanks.
So, let's get right into the breadth of what you do. I've heard you, I think this is probably my fourth or fifth time that I've heard you. It's like the third or fourth time I've interviewed you. And I have to say, you get all over the map. So you're in the pop end of bossa nova on the first tune, and the second tune is like, something that might have come out of what was the fourth guy in that good band, Neil Young. Something out of Neil Young with that E minor A kind of thing, and using the power chords and stuff, and you're doing it on a 12 string. Yowza. So talk to me a little bit about how that comes together. Where, what I'm really most interested in, not only interested in, but most interested in, is where does the development of these very fine guitar parts, where does it come in your songwriting development of a given song?
It's funny because a lot of people will ask me, who inspired me? And it's so hard for me to single out one person because, again, I grew up in such a rich musical time. There were just so many fabulous bands. Every band that you heard, they came to the table with something different. And I just loved it. I mean, my taste run all over the place. If I hear beautiful guitar, a beautiful rhythm, beautiful harmony, it's just all over the place. I mean, I used to love Roy Orbison. I still do, of course, but his voice, the Beach Boys, their harmonies, the Beatles for their melodies, Led Zeppelin, the guitar work. I think that's where it all comes from. I just love all kinds of music. And a perfect example of that is just coming right here tonight, because we're hearing such a diverse amount of music, and it's all going to influence me. Trust me. I like that, when you take when you were talking about that songwriting course, and the 10 words.
Well, I'm sure at some point I'm going to take away a little bit from each and every one of you, and I'll come up with something different, you know. But that's basically where it comes from. Sure.
Sure. How about order of operations? What happens first for you? Melody, guitar noodling, lyric?
It's usually searching around my guitar for chords, you know, hopefully something a little different, but you know, tempo wise as well. You know, if I can get that feel going, then I'm like, okay, crap, I need some words, you know. I should just go back to this course, this class here and, and just get all the lyrics because, I mean, everybody's writing such fabulous lyrics. And a lot of times, I'm just looking to see what syllables fit where. You know what I mean? I'm not taking a whole lot of time to
The
tell a
scansion
story.
and the poesy and things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, mesh all those pieces together. Yeah,
So one gear question for you.
yeah.
What kind of strings do you use on the guitar? It's a
The light
Martin.
gauge, yeah, the Adidas. I was using the Martin Marquis, but I can't find them anymore. But
No,
I'm just
they're
Adidas.
people are just going on the stocks they had. I don't think they make them anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're
And
lucky to find.
where are you geographically?
Well, right now I'm in Massachusetts right now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
Where's
just
your who's your works on your guitar for you? Because 12 strings take some maintenance, you know.
yeah, well, that was the luthier I found up in Maine, and
Uh-huh.
he was fabulous. And you know, I was up in the Auburn Lewiston area, WC Customs. It just does fabulous work, and he builds his own guitars as well. They're phenomenal, just like Dave's, you know. But I did a gig today out in Easton, Mass, and I guess the engineer that was, you know, doing the sound system, he said his father is a luthier. So I just got a new number for, you know, this definitely needs to be sent out for reconditioning.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's the one downside of the 12 strings is all that load on the neck means you have to kind of baby them.
Well, but the other thing too, which the luthier told me, I mean, when I told him what I normally do, I play a full step down. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't tune it to the conventional, you know, E or whatever. So by keeping that a full step down, it's less on that neck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Less
he was
person.
very happy to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a very famous 12-string fingerstyle player named Leo Kotke that
You
used to
told me
keep
about him the last time. He
right
was
C sharp
awesome.
C sharp. He would tune down to down a whole third on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can have so much fun on a 12 string, you know, do so many things with it, whatever.
And you do so many things. I love that second song. I particularly liked all the work you were doing off the power chords and the little half step, bass intro. You're a bass player as well, right?
I play a lot of bass. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
almost thinking of doing one song on the bass, but I just got to think about that one for a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you again sometime soon. I think that's likely, and I will rejoice when I do. I'm
Oh,
going to turn you back over to Laura now.
okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you again, Jennifer. Those were some great songs.
Oh,
And
thank you, Laura.
oh, it's a pleasure. And sadly, everybody, it's almost the end of the show. But don't leave yet, because it's not the end of the show. We still have one more performer for you, and it is one you've seen on Open Mic America before, like all of our performers tonight. I think we have everyone who's been a veteran of being on Open Mic America. But for now, for the end of the show, we've got John Gary from Stowe, Ohio, and he hosts a monthly open mic showcase performer event at the Dragonfly Winery in Canal Fulton, and it's well attended by both performers and music lovers alike. But John, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Laura. So I have a song called Together Again. Together again, for the first time in a long time, it's so nice. see you once again. Through many lonely nights have I suffered to feel so nice, to kiss you once again. It's been hard, baby, being away from you. Sometimes so hard I didn't think I could make it, but I have. Now I'm so glad. Lonely times will never return. Together again. For the first time in a long time, it's so nice to see you once again. Through many lonely nights have I suffered to feel so nice, to kiss you once again. There were times when I felt I was dying, times when crying seemed the only thing to do, but those times are gone forever. Lonely times will never return. Together again. For the first time in a long time, it's so nice to see you once again. Through many lonely nights have I suffered to feel so nice, to kiss you once again, together again. For the first time in a long time, it's so nice to see you once again. Through many lonely nights have I suffered to feel so nice, to kiss you once again, together again.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. All right. Now my 70s song, as I heard early in the evening. It's a song called "Loving You Is All I Need Tonight." Lately, I have heard there's a word you have said. Now I only want to know, will this feeling grow when you hear, as we're holding hands and walking in the sands under the moon and stars tonight. I'll pull you close and say, I'm glad you're here today, and loving you is all I need tonight. When you were not by my side, I almost died of loneliness. How could I have known I'd feel alone, full of bitterness? But now we're holding hands and walking in these sands under the moon and stars tonight. I'll pull you close and you're here to stay. And loving you is all I need tonight. Now that you are near, it's very clear. I say instead. Now I think we know this love will grow when you hear, as we're holding hands and walking in these sands under the moon and stars tonight. Close and stay. I'm glad you're here to stay. And loving you is all I need tonight. I'll pull you close and say, I'm glad you're here to stay. And loving you is all I need tonight. Loving you is all I need tonight. Yes, loving you is all I need tonight. Thank you.
Oh, loving those songs. I was dancing a little bit with those. I like that. But
That's
Mike,
my goal. That's my goal, Laura.
perfect. And I'm going to pass you off to Mike.
All right. John Gary, good to see you
Hi, Mike.
again. How's things?
They're good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Sky's there, grass is there. That's how you want it, you know. All right. So I looked around, you know, I looked at the website, kind of things like that, and the comment that I'm going to pop up here so I can remember it. It said that multiple reviewers had compared you to James Taylor and Cat Stevens and others from the early 70s singer-songwriters. I thought of Dan Fogelberg myself, listening to your stuff.
And I've heard Gordon Lightfoot lately. Yes.
Lightfoot too, yeah.
Yes.
You know, that whole pack of fellers that were there in that time doing that sort of thing. What do you want to carry forward from that time in musical place?
You know, I love the melodies from that period, and I love the lyrics. One of those things about having record albums is being able to have the lyrics on the record albums. Something I miss from CD or streaming now. To be able to look at that and look at how were those put together and who wrote them and all of that.
And you're playing out a lot?
I am out probably 3-4 nights a week, yes.
Okay. What we were talking about, open mic showcases, gigs?
All of those. Do
All
all
of
of those things, yes.
Yeah, well, good. How far do you range geographically?
I live in Stowe, so I'm about 40 miles from downtown Cleveland. So I will go Cleveland, Canton, Akron, almost to Youngstown, Medina. So about an hour and a half from my house.
Not bar gigs, I take it, mostly?
A few here and there. I mean, I've done a few. It's been more likely wineries, breweries.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your lyrics need to be heard. You know, that's they're kind of at the heart of what you're doing there.
Yes.
So, what would you like to see happen going forward in your local or in the online and well, anywhere in the music community with folk music, with music that I would ask a specific question and say, when people talk about folk music, to me it seems like the names we mentioned and your stuff qualifies as folk music. You know, that folk music means music of the people, and that stuff now is, centered in our culture enough and well enough recognized that it's true. What would you like to see happen in our music communities?
So one of the things that I do, because again, although I'm out playing 3 or 4 nights a week, I also make it a point that at least one night a week I go out and see somebody else perform. I find that to be very important. And with my own open mic, we do this showcase piece, and a lot of what I'm doing is I'm going out and seeing performers that I've not seen before. Is I invite them to be a performer at my showcase. And part of what I see happening with this, and with all the places that I go, I kind of have all my little communities, Kent, Ohio, and Canton, Ohio, and Medina and Cleveland. And they're different people in all of those different venues. But by bringing them together to my showcase, I bring them all together. And it's been interesting watching people get to know other people that they would not normally be seeing or hearing.
Right.
So that I think that's really, really important. A lot of what I'm doing, just aside from my own music, is trying to do a lot of that kind of community building.
Yeah. A favorite singer-songwriter of mine, she once said that one of the first things that happened in her career was somebody made a comment about, you're a bee, you need to get to other flowers.
Yeah.
The pollen needs to be spread around, and she said that got her going, and she ended up with a lifetime career in it. Yeah. All right, I've got one other thing I want to talk about with you. It's interesting to me, some players, including some tonight, there are different levels to their lyricism, maybe their guitar playing. Like with me, probably most people generally point out they like when I sing, they like my voice, and that's the top thing. And then probably my lyrics are next, and my guitar playing is not as good. But in your case, you do every part of what you do with tremendous precision. Have you studied with people? Have you taken lessons or?
I took a few lessons in my first couple of years of college, but other than that, I'm self-taught.
Yeah. So what drives the desire and the effect of the very precise lyric writing and playing that you do, and singing too?
Well, one of the things I do, 'cause you asked the question a little bit earlier about how you put your sets together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to answer that question because I have a very specific process that I do that. So,
Excellent.
typically I don't have this set that I go play everywhere every time. So even if I play the same venue 2 months in a row, I'm going to play a different set. And my process is I have about 200 songs or so in my set list right now. And I will, if I'm doing a 2.5 hour show, I'm going to list about 30 songs that I think I might want to do with that. I order them. And then I began practicing. I actually practice that and record those sessions and listen to them and determine, that's a good order, that's not a good order. But to make sure, as was mentioned before, that I'm getting different keys, different tempos, different temperaments, and those kinds of things. So I practice a lot. So if I'm not out playing, I'm still practicing 2 to 3 hours a night.
Yep, there it is. That's how you get that kind of precision. Everybody listen to that, because that's what we should all be doing. Not that we all do. Lovely to hear you, and it's. I hope that Ohio appreciates the gift that they have there. And it's not all about Ohio State football out there in Ohio. We've got John Gary out there doing greatness too. So it's like I say, great to see you. I'm sure you'll be back, and we'll talk again then.
Thank you.
Yeah, Laura, on to you.
Alrighty, and thank you, John. It has been a great show tonight. I think everyone can agree. And I want to give one last round of applause for all of our performers. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Clancy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Gillis Mills. And of course, thank you, Mike, for pulling double duty as being both our interviewer and performer. Thank you, Daphne, for making sure everything ran smoothly on the technical side. And of course, thank you, Capo Dave, for founding this show and always working tirelessly behind the scenes. And of course, to all of you watching, thank you. It wouldn't be much of a show if we didn't have anybody watching, and we appreciate that you guys are tuning in. Please remember to check out our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all of our Open Mic America performers and to find archives of all of our past shows if you want to see some of these guys when they were first on the show. And if you liked the show and you had a good time tonight, please don't keep it a secret. Spread the word. Use social media. Use your word of mouth. Go out to your local coffee shops or your local open mics and let people know that we exist. And maybe we can get some more performers from your neck of the woods. In the green room section of our website, you can print out posters. You can order a t-shirt with our logo on it. And of course, the big thing, if you do nothing else, go check out your local open mics. There are performers that are there who are singing their hearts out, just like these guys are tonight. And we'll link all of the ones that were mentioned by our performers tonight on our website. And we also have more that will be listed under the local open mics tab on the website. But we will be back here at Open Mic America for the first and third Sundays of every month. Our next performance will be on November 3rd. So stay tuned and check out our website for the full lineup. That is, again, openmicamerica.com. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.